May I now call upon Sri Said Sultan Ahmed to address the gathering. So please.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Minister of Labour, distinguished panel speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. I am really honored to join here with all of you. It's an opportunity for me and my organization to share our some views, some experience which can contribute to the formation of future vision of Kerala workers' rights and welfare. After seeing all the gathering, I can understand that how the Kerala society built on the struggle, workers' struggle and class struggle, can build a culture and consciousness on workers' rights and welfare. Normally, it's very rare to see that a huge people gathering on the discussion on workers' rights and welfare. Salute to the people who build this culture, consciousness in the society. Sitting here actually and hearing from our Honorable Justice, Honorable Speakers and everywhere, I think whether I should talk as an ILO official or as a trade union activist. I am just mixed up. So excuse me if I divert from my presentation and have something from my experience from my struggle with the workers. I will be short. And you know that what we heard from the keynote speech and also the seminar note, that Kerala built a model who is now followed by many of the states of India. And I can tell you who is as the demand some reference from other countries in South Asia also, especially the country where I am coming, Bangladesh. In many occasions, we put Kerala model as a reference, especially health service, minimum wage, and others. So it is my privilege to stand here and talk in front of you as a Bangladesh workers' rights activist and also as well as ILO official. If I make very short, first of all, we should know that, as Honorable Justice mentioned, that we have a lot of progress. It does not mean that we have milk and honey. We are actually have within the limitation, within the structure, Kerala developed some model which can be followed by others. But thanks that still, Kerala government think that they need to go further to build a vision. And to build a vision, I think, if we share the ILO some fundamental principles and some future vision, global future vision, it can help you to integrate something in your future vision. If I go further, I will try to discuss in front of you the ILO fundamental principle, which is based on the workers' rights after the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the protection of workers' rights through a decent work and social justice, then sustainable development goal, how we can make use of this thing to build our own just society, a inclusive society, and what is the future of work challenges, globally recognized, and we need to consider it, and how with this, our expectation that Kerala should lead the South, lead the future of work. Next. Can I have the remote so I can? Anybody operating this thing? Okay, then forget it. Anybody operating this PowerPoint? So if we consider that ILO is a tripartite organization, you all know, but is for to establish the international standard for workers' rights, for workers' welfare, through a tripartite discussion. And throughout the year, last 103 years, ILO built 190 international labor standards. Range from workers' hours. Now there is a huge debate in India, how many hours workers should work. But it was settled in 2019-20. And it was settled through the struggle of the working class in, as we say, May Day, 1st May. So there is no scope to have actually a new debate on this. It was ratified by India and most of the countries of the world. So this 190 convention international labor standard ILO introduced through the discussion of the tripartite constituents, many of them ratified by India, many of them not ratified. But there are 10 conventions which we call fundamental principles and rights at work, which is end of forced labor, protection against all types of discrimination, end of child labor, and right to freedom of association and collective bargaining, which is the basic rights, fundamental rights, and key rights to ensure other rights also. And lastly, which is occupational health and safety, that means safe and healthy working environment. I know these all are in the Kerala consider it to form their vision. We have many laws I saw in the seminar roads to protect, to promote this thing, fundamental principle and rights at work. So this is the one area Kerala we need in each and every country should respect, whether they ratify it or not, and should reflect in their law and to protect workers and welfare. Without ensuring this fundamental principle and rights at work, I don't think any activities, any welfare, any social security thing on scheme-based, on charity-based, on budget-based is not right-based. We want everything should be right-based. That is the fundamental thing ILO want, that all the things should be right-based, inclusive, sustainable, and through the empowering of the workers, ensure the participation of the workers. That is why you will see we put freedom of association in the past. Because you cannot empower the workers, you cannot empower the representative of workers to participate in the debate, participate in the policy dialogue, then it's not right-based, it's not inclusive. We want that, next one. We want that ensure decent work for all. And that is the commitment of the Indian government, trade union, and the employers together. This is a unique program of ILO where the Union Government Secretary herself signed, Employers Association signed, and all the central trade unions signed. But that is the deficiency of their challenges is that 90% of the working workforce in India is informal. I don't know exact figure of Kerala actually, but in India as a whole is informal and is a growing informalization is there. Employment is there. So if we really want inclusive just society, we want to take this challenge and to address this challenge, that workers should be a formal contract, formal legislation covered by the universal legislation, and right to access in all the social security scheme. Whether they are a tribal worker working in a home in the hill or in the sea catching the fish, they have the right to entitlement of all the existing laws and everything covered. You can see, so ILO in 2023 and 27, with the commitment of all the constituents, government, trade union, and employer, we identify 3 priorities. 1, promote the international labor standard and the fundamental principles and rights at work, strengthening social dialogue and support constituents for effective policy response. As you heard, there are still debate on the labor code. There are still debate on many policy issues, which is not inclusive, which is not drafted through effective social dialogue, which is the heart of Indian constituents. So we want that to ensure the decent work, we need to first ensure the fundamental principle and rights at work for the workers, especially their freedom of, right to freedom of association and collective bargaining, which is declining all over the world, which is declining in many states in India also. I hope that Kerala is still practicing this thing, and Kerala will proceed this thing, strengthening things in becoming a model for other states, that how through social dialogue, how through a tripartite, established functional tripartite mechanism, we can go further. We can make inclusive society and social just society. And in this is decent work, if you feel it's an integrated approach actually. As we mentioned, the 3 priorities. It's the integrated approach, and that approach is depend one up to another. If we have the rights of work, then we can create job and decent job. We can expanding social protection through and we can practice the tripartism. So this is an integrated approach based on the tripartism. As more as we can practice tripartism, effective tripartism, we can go further. And here I can tell you, ILO take initiative in Kerala also to organize a social dialogue diploma for government official, for trade unionists, and for employers. I think tomorrow we are going to make a formal launching for this. So we want to participate with Kerala government. ILO want to participate with the Kerala government to actually make I know it exists, but it's still further strengthening the tripartite mechanism. So Kerala can be a model, and we can set Kerala as a model for tripartism also, functional tripartism, not only a discussion club. We need to shift it from discussion club to a functional tripartism. If we go with this decent work thing, we have different state declaration from ILO. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We have this ILO passed 100 years in 2019. You all know ILO also itself the organization established through the struggle of the workers. It's not was the charity of the global community. It's because of the 100 years of struggle for the workers, May Day and everything ILO established actually. So ILO has in 100 years in 2019, ILO declared a centenary declaration. And you know, after that, immediate after that, the COVID pandemic came. With this centenary declaration and based on the future of work Global Commission report, I don't want to go all the things, but all this centenary declaration what mentioned that change is inevitable. World of work is changing very fast, even faster than what we thought, we dream even. So we need to, for forming any vision, we need to you need to consider this changing world of work. And that is technological change, demographic shift. Now more than 35% of the population is youth, and is a huge population of retired people. We need to consider the environmental and climate change, and we need to consider the growing informalization and inequality. So this is the core of ILO Centenary Declaration. And consider this for this just transition aspect is fundamental for any sustainable development. And follow up this Centenary Declaration in December 2022, all the Asia-Pacific regional countries, all the government, employers and workers, trade union, again met in regional conference in Singapore, and they made a strong statement. It's almost similar with this Centenary Declaration. But the core is that they urge the government, trade union and employer to sit together to continue the social dialogue, to continue to establish the effective mechanism of policy debate and dialogue with the participation of the most representative of the most vulnerable people, to build a just society, to build an inclusive society. And in this year, which is very much similar with the Kerala vision, this International Labour Conference again discuss and conclude some points on universal labor protection and working for a just society, just transition. So this is the two issue, and universal social protection. We need to keep in mind that ILO, where Indian government is participant, Indian Central Trade Union is a participant, and Indian trade employers are participant. Please go ahead a little bit. So I don't want to go one by one. I would like to say there is another things we need to consider, that is UN development program, social SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal. This SDG, we need to interactive, because we cannot, we have 6 years to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal. And each and every goal has somehow related with the workers' rights and welfare. If you think goal 1 is end of poverty, without a standard living wage, you cannot end up poverty. We have goal 8.5, which is decent work. That is also we need to ensure through our commitment and everything. With this, actually, I would like to end to mention, just not following my presentation, PowerPoint presentation, just say that if we really, what Kerala want to go further from ILO, we need to say that it should be inclusive and universal coverage for all, leaving no one behind. That is the slogan of SDG, that is the global vision, that is ILO vision also. And then integrated approach, how we can combine everything with Sustainable Development Goal, which is a global commitment, with Decent to Our Country program, which is the national commitment, and with others framework, what United Nations, ILO, and other, all the agencies are working for. We need to see, we need to establish that how each and everybody can participate in a structured form, in a tripartite structure, tripartite discussion and debate. And that's why a strong trade union is necessary, which Kerala have, but we expect that Kerala need to establish a model on this thing. ILO is always work with you, and as I mentioned, we are planning to work with you. We are always ready to work with, cooperate with this journey to forming the vision of workers' welfare and rights, based on rights. A right-based society can lead the future, and to establish this thing, Kerala can establish a model to lead the South and working future of work. I don't want to finish everything. It will take time, and it will use the time for our latest speaker. Thank you very much in solidarity to all of you. Thank you.
Sir, it was a good lecture on dignity of labor. Thank you, sir.